Well, hello and welcome to League of Vloggers. This is episode 20. We're talking about week 4. And as always, I am Curtis James, joined by Heather Stormy. And we are missing Chase Viking Redbeard this week.
I'm taking his spot over here.
We're just going to spread out, enjoy ourselves. Chase, unfortunately, in Florida this week. Does anybody say, fortunately, I'm in Florida?
I'm going there this coming up weekend, and it's both a love-hate relationship with the state. And
Even when you're from there is hate involved. Chase will be back, though, next week to talk about Rift Rivals. And you'll be there, too, though. We are delaying until Tuesday again, right?
Tuesday again. Should be okay on Tuesday to stay, though.
Yeah, we'll be actually on Tuesday.
Unless Frontier shits the bed.
Right?
You'll know immediately.
Man. I experienced that this past weekend. Yeah. But anyway, while Chase is not here, let's quick get it out of the way so he doesn't gloat as much.
Yeah.
We did pick your ponies 2 weeks ago. We all three picked one team for 2 weeks, 4 games, and whoever had the worst weeks has to bring, was it McDoubles and fries or something like that? Yeah.
It depends on what I'm feeling that day.
Yeah, so Chase, fries and something else. Yeah. So Chase picked Team Liquid. They had a schedule of Flyquest, Optic, Golden Gardens, Clutch, and we said at the time they were most likely to pull all of those out, and they did.
They did.
Sure enough, they went 4-0, no problems. We knew there was a chance at a hiccup because their losses had been to Fox and CLG so far, but managed to keep on their feet that time. I picked Cloud9, who went, honestly, a little bit of a surprising 2-2, winning over Optic and CLG, but losing to TSM and 100 Thieves, which we get to talk about here in a moment. And Heather picked Optic, at the time, tied with Cloud9. They did not fare as well. They picked up their win over TSM.
Yeah, out of the...
we said they had the gauntlet. They had the Cloud9 TL TSM in a row gauntlet. And then they had Echo Fox. They should be able to clean that up. Maybe go 2-2.
Yeah.
They picked up the win over TSM.
But not Fox.
And they did not stick the landing. No. So their loss...
It's okay. Someone had to lose, and honestly, I had the worst of the 4 matches. So it's not too surprising. Maybe had I thought about this. But even still, had I picked... Because I wouldn't have picked, 100 Thieves, obviously.
Yeah.
Or CLG, or CG. I might have... Nor Fly. I wouldn't have picked Fly either. But I might have picked, Golden Guardians, right?
Right, yeah.
And I still would have only...
Golden Guardians would have gone poorly.
Oh, yeah.
The other option would have been pick TSM.
Yeah, TSM, but they
TSM did beat Clutch, Cloud9, and Golden Guardians, and they dropped only the one to Optic.
Why didn't I freaking...
So in that scenario,
hindsight.
I would have been the big loser. Instead, you're the big loser.
I am the big loser. It's okay.
Honestly, we're all winners because there's going to be French fries.
I'm excited.
All right, but let's move on from the Pick Your Ponies.
Congrats, Chase, by the way.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that again here following Rift Rivals. That was fun.
And you've been coming up with, new stuff consistently, or every once in a while.
I
like that.
Bring some games in.
I'm not creative. I'm not going to think of shit for you. Sorry, but if anybody's got ideas, give them to him. Good.
So I think the big story of the week, and we already touched on it a little bit. 100 Thieves went from 1 win all split, having won it on Sunday of last week.
Yeah. So it's still in
winning,
that 2-week thing
to winning both games this week. Cloud9 and Flyquest.
And they looked good against Cloud9.
They did. Yeah. They looked good all weekend, actually.
They did. I have to give it to them. Oh,
what's going on?
180, Moo.
Yeah.
Congrats. I'm not going to say you're the next friggin', Mickey X?
Core JJ.
Core JJ, But you played so much better, and your escapes on Rakan with, this much health, good job.
It was very much the opposite of what we had seen in his previous Rakan plays, where he went in, got exploded, and it was over.
Just did.
What is the difference with 100 Thieves, besides winning, that we saw here in the past week, or 3 games if you even want to say that, than we saw in the first 5 this split, and hell, the last 7 of last split?
I don't know, man. I don't know that back end. I don't know these people personally. I only know them professionally in their jobs of what they do in playing League of Legends. I do know that they have 3 new members on their team. I imagine that someday wasn't the complete issue, rather than Fake God, I was telling you earlier,
right.
like being the masterpiece of top lane. I think Fake God does what he said in his little interview after one of the games where he won. I don't play for the lane, I play for the team win. I don't play for the lane win, I play for the team win. And that does help, of course. And I think you mentioned Amazing being probably the best slotted in person for this team.
I think definitely Amazing's been improving week to week. The team is learning to play with him and vice versa. And I think, like Fake God, while I don't think that he's necessarily like better than Someday, I think with the way this team wants to play, and maybe even more particularly with the way Amazing does play, that having that team-minded top laner is better than the carry top laner. I
do agree, especially since I think Amazing is someone who is I'm not giving up. They could be at our base. We have 0 turrets.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving up. And I think that's an attitude that they really need, and especially forced on like that bot lane, because that bot lane has shaped up.
Yeah.
Both of them. Sven too, man. Like, he still does some things where he'll like go too forward, you know, be a little bit risky. But he's been pulling back, holding out, and then only making... I'm sorry, Bang. Did I say Sven?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bang. This is Bang. Sorry.
This is
but
Bang.
Then he goes forward when he knows he has the chase, instead of just, maybe I can get this, maybe I won't.
And I think with Amazing there, he knows he has a front line. Yeah. I think that confidence from Amazing, allowing Bane to play a little better, is also playing into Aphromoo. And I think that's part of Aphromoo's escapes too, is that Aphromoo's going in with a jungler who's making the plays well and right. There are times where it's totally Aphromoo initiating, and then he's getting follow-up from a very good jungler, and there's a lot, I think, probably more of the time where Amazing's making a play, and that's allowing Aphromoo to follow up on it rather than Aphro making all the decisions. I feel like they're delegating maybe a bit more of the shot calling with team fight initiation to Amazing. Because when he goes in, it seems to work. Yeah. When we were seeing Aphromoo be the person who started shit beforehand, it didn't seem to work.
Not if he's the one doing it 100% of the time. It has to be a little bit of give to the other teammates, being able to initiate and have Moo follow up. I don't know because I feel like Moo would be the person to, like, if I'm not in total control of everything, this is going to be a shit fucking fuck you all. I'll lose this game just because. I'm not seeing that attitude from Moo. I'm seeing, okay, I'll play with you. Yeah. Like, let's do this as a team. Yeah. And I think that's really good for him, and I'm proud of him. And even in the interviews, he still seems like something's not real right, I guess. But, like, that there is hope.
Right, yeah. I mean, when you're 3-5, things aren't looking great. But they have a chance to be just barely under 500 heading into the halfway point. They'd be 4-5 if they win next week to start against TSM. And that's not a terrible position. That is a playoff possible position.
I mean, playoffs is all that matters, right?
Yeah. You get to playoffs, you can make worlds. Yeah. You just have to win playoffs.
They've got to get through these next few weeks unscathed, and they have a really tough road coming up.
They do. They have TSM and TL just next week. And then that's followed by Optic, who's been looking pretty fucking good too. We said it about Optic, and let's move into that next. But we said about Optic last week, or 2 weeks ago, that they had Cloud9, TL, TSM coming up. That was going to show what kind of team they really were. And the same goes for 100 Thieves now. They have TSM, TL, Optic coming up, and winning at least one of those games means you're all right. Winning more than one means you're a good team.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I feel it's going to be on TSM and TL not to underestimate them. I think C9 did. I think them having Blabber in showed that they were like, we don't respect you enough to even play Svenskeren. His pinky hurts today.
Yeah, one, I think part of that is Cloud9 does want to try out other things yet.
I get that.
We'll round around to them. Oh, he absolutely did. But if you're looking to run a super aggressive jungler and like a smarter jungler, you need to get him the reps.
Yeah.
And honestly, if nothing else, like, while Svenskeren's probably the best jungler in NA right now, I mean, his stats are ridiculous. He's dominating statistics for junglers. It's ridiculous. But he's not going to be around forever. Yeah. You know, and you as an organization, Cloud9, either you're planning for the future when Svenskeren's not going to be up to snuff anymore, or you just want to get him reps, see if he's good enough, and then sell him to somebody else and like continue that, you know, cash flow. That's what you do.
I do. So. I can see, because they do. need to have their other players play when they feel safe to do so. And I think they felt safe to do so against 100 Thieves, but that was them not, what did I just say? Respecting the 100 Thieves can come together as a team, and they have been. So.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, up to that point, they had only beat Echo Fox,
So it's like, TSM and TL, watch your backs. Like, don't just say this is 100 Thieves, we're gonna steamroll them. They putting a fight,
TSM hasn't faced the middle yet. Team Liquid hasn't faced them since week 2, when they were still a very ugly-looking team. All right, well, let's move on from 100 Thieves, though. Let's talk a little bit about Optic, because we have seen now the rest of that 3-game stretch. Yeah. They had lost to Cloud9, and I thought they looked okay there. Okay. They lost to TL, and they played a very close game with them. Okay. Now we went into this week, and they beat TSM. Yeah. And I think it was a good win.
I do think so, too.
Yeah. And then they lost to Echo Fox in what was a very close, very back-and-forth game, but Echo Fox is also a team with only 2 wins, including that win over Optic.
And they were playing Lorlo and Panda.
Yeah.
Both
they played Panda this weekend.
And Lorlo.
Yeah, right.
Is that how you say it?
Lorlo. You have it correct.
Okay, Lorlo, yeah.
But, I mean, it's just like, I don't know, you get the win over TSM, I go, okay, you are actually a good team. You were able to beat one of the major 3, you've beaten everybody else below you, but then you drop a game to Fox.
Yeah. I'm not even really sure what happened there, because I've got the game in my head with Scarlet. Which one is that? He was subbing in for Crown on Optic?
Yes.
Yeah, versus TSM. Like, that's really the only Optic game I remember, right?
He subbed in both.
Yeah, but...
and he looked good against TSM.
It was Scarlet. Oh, Scarlet made a shitty play, but they can still come back. And then it was Scarlet made the gank. Scarlet made the flank.
Yeah, and he played Vlad both games.
Yes, so he dominated, and I just did not hear that at all in that Fox game. So it must not have been... No, he must not have been having that great of a game.
He was chunking really well early. He got ahead quite a bit, running that electrocute Vladimir again. But then, down the backstretch, the team fights were just... They were played better by Echo Fox.
That was the Yuumi game, that's right.
Yeah, there's great kiting by Apollo when they were behind Dragon Pit that allowed them to go from, oh man, they lost this fight, to like, Apollo's alive. He's still alive. He killed 1. He killed 2. Okay, he's going to walk forward. They're going to get the 3rd. Like, it was crazy. And then the very last fight, I was showing you the very specifics of it. So we have Yuumi, who doesn't have a flash. She doesn't need one. She's on somebody, right? You have Sivir, whose flash is up in like 4 seconds.
That countdown.
Yeah. It's like, you can see it, that it's just the line.
So, because I knew that you brought it up when you were having me watch the clip, but what is your point behind that? Just the fact that they didn't, or that Apollo didn't have it until that...
So, okay.
Arrow?
It's Arrow. So, Arrow doesn't have flash on Sivir. Yumi's on him. Great. You have Meteos with flash up. So what happens is that the Jarvan comes in, and they're trapped in a corridor. So Meteos is trapped in front of... so he's in the middle of Echo Fox with his flash up. He gets out his CC, and then he flashes into the Cataclysm to get further away. Yeah. Sivir doesn't have her flash up for like 3 seconds, so she flashes right before the Cataclysm finally ends, but she takes a buttload of damage in the meantime. Top lane. Dokla had just flashed, and so he ended up behind the Cataclysm. Yeah. He's on Jace, so he's able to get like a shot in, but then he can't like auto attack because he's too far away from anything other than the Jarvan. We said Yuumi obviously can't do anything. Vladimir had literally just pooled to avoid the Jarvan damage as he came in and the knockup, and so he can't flash because he's in a pool. And so what you end up with is everybody stuck, unable to do basically anything besides take CC and damage. Yeah. And that's the thing, like that 3 seconds on flash, it just shows...
She flashed, though, right after.
Afterwards.
Was it kind of wasted, do you think? Because she...
No, that's fine. The point being more so, if she has that flash up 3 seconds earlier, if that Jarvan comes 3 seconds later, that fight's completely different. Like, it's just how close, how seconds can matter in League. And not just like, oh man, had I walked to the Baron earlier, I could have stole it. Like, no, like literally the cooldown on flash being 3 seconds, because we've all been in that point in the game. We're like, you're just smashing it, like, come on, cool down!
We all know this.
Yeah, and you're just like... There's nothing else you can do besides flash, or you're you're playing Soraka and you're just mashing the ult. You're just mashing the ult button because you see everybody else on your team dying, and you're like, come on!
So had they just waited 3 seconds, do you think that game might have been turned around?
Yeah, that game was very, very close. It was basically those two big fights by Fox late that decided it.
Yeah.
There was a bad dive by Optic a bit earlier, but
I remember that. Were they?
I think besides those 3 points in the game, I think for the most part, Optic was outplaying Fox. But those 3 were plenty enough to lose the game off of. So, I mean, I think Fox looked good with Panda, which they did not last split when they tried him. When they tried him last split, it did not look good. No. Like, I think they got a win, but it wasn't because of him.
I don't think it was any more Panda's fault than it was Rush's when Rush was doing bad. Because when Rush was doing bad, he was like, I'm walking into the enemy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So,
but he did look better this weekend, even though they did drop one game with him in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. I think Optic, though, it just seemed like just a bit of a bad game for them. They've got their final game of the first round robin being Golden Guardians.
That'll be a good game, too.
That game's really important for them because Golden Guardians recently dropped down, but they're still only a game behind behind Optic. And, I mean, when last split, they were the number 5 team. They were looking like a top 4, top 3 at the beginning of this split. And then all of a sudden it was Optic that looked like that.
Yeah.
You know, you got to win this if you're going to be it.
This entire split is mayhem.
It really is.
It's fun, though. It has definitely been.
And if there's one thing that's true about this split compared to last split is you can't take anything from last split and apply it to this split.
Like, I mean, TL's the best team. That's about it. Like that.
Right,
and
but even there, they have a
TL.
loss to Fox and they have a loss to CLG early. Yeah. Like, last split, they didn't even lose until...
They would have to...
Their last game of week 4. They lost 1 to TSM, and then they didn't lose again until the last 3 games of the split. Yeah. They've already lost 2 games.
They're going to have to, like, run out the entire next 4 weeks without losing 1 game to make them seem like the team they were last split.
And they have Cloud9 to start next week, the end of their round robin, to show. Like, and we saw last split, Cloud9 and TL ended both 14-4. TL had both head-to-head wins. Right now, if Cloud9 were to win this over TL, we would end up halfway through the split with the exact opposite situation, where they're both 6-3, and Cloud9 has the head-to-head.
It's exciting. Like, so we've already... Do you want to mention the fact that we're making it... I'm mentioning it right now, but the game of the week for...
I mean, I think that has to be the game of the week.
I mean, I pretty much agree. When you look at it like that, it's going to be interesting because they're such good teams.
And otherwise, we're not seeing like TSM facing Optic or anything like that. We're not seeing other top teams face off. The only other one you could consider would be Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves, and that's just because 100 Thieves is up and coming. But I think
I'd say maybe TSM versus 100 Thieves.
Yeah, or TSM 100 Thieves, exactly, because that's a closer one. If 100 Thieves beats TSM, then the game against TL is going to be huge.
Yes.
Because like if they can pull both of those wins, they would have beat Cloud9, TSM, and TL all in 2 weeks, and that's crazy. But we'll see as we go. Yeah, some sexy bearded person is missing. I'm right here, Chase. I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that him? Is he talking?
Yeah, it's Chase.
Suck it, because you won.
So, but on the topic of not being able to take things from last split and apply them to this split, last split we saw a team do really well. Unsuspecting that this team was going to do well, they did really well. They ended the split at 500, 9-9. But through the playoffs, they ended up 4th place. That team being Flyquest.
Yeah.
That team is now 1-7.
10th place.
Sole possession of 10th place. Their
really
lone win, week 2, day 1 over TSM.
Yeah.
They have Echo Fox to close out their round robin. This is the Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling match of the week because this is 9th versus 10th to close out their round robin, determine who is the shittiest of them all. And they will follow up Fox with Optic. But what happened to Flyquest?
I don't even know.
They're running the same roster.
Well, this weekend they changed it to what did.
They did. You're right. They did play what did this week.
And I think what did played better than JJ normally does. I just don't think the issue was like the support.
I think he needs more stage time as well. But
yeah, again, that's true. He does need like another week or 2 on stage. And
yeah. But I mean, what's going on here?
I don't know. They've got Vipers, Santorin, the Pobelters, and then Wild Turtle. So 4 out of 5 is the same, and JJ was the same for the first.
Yeah, it was the same 5 until this week.
I don't know.
And they lost 5 of those 7 games with that roster.
I will say that there was only a few times they looked incredibly good. This weekend, I think they had 1 game where they looked really good. Which game was that? Probably CLG.
Yeah. Yeah, because 100 Thieves did fight. Well, they did make 100 Thieves fight for it.
Yeah.
They really did.
Okay.
But, I mean, once again, we're not sure if that's saying a whole lot. Yeah. We don't know if Cloud9 just really underplayed the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
And in that context, if they did, 100 Thieves has beaten Echo Fox, Flyquest, the bottom 2 teams in the league. Mm-hmm. And they've beaten Cloud9, which even if Cloud9 underplayed, that matters.
Yeah.
But still, it's just like, okay, what to say about this?
Are they not playing cohesively? Are they not communicating well? Is it just each lane is dropping off hard and Santorin isn't making up for it? I don't freaking know. Like, it's all of the above.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not, educated in League enough to really understand shit. I see colors and
I mean, I don't think their drafts are necessarily always the best. I don't think they're drafting terribly. I feel like it doesn't serve them as well as it seems to serve other teams.
Because they had a freaking starter and Kinch.
Yeah, they had Camille top.
That Lucian pick, though, that was weird.
Yeah.
With the Kinch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wild Turtles played some good Lucian. I don't know. Like, I almost want to see a game that's all comfort picks from them. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I would love to see, Viper on whatever the hell he feels like up top. Like, Riven if they can get it, late. Turtle on... on Caitlyn, I'd say.
Really?
Go way old school with Turtle.
Oh, see, I don't know Turtle from that. All I know is he goes Kaisa, hits that little seeker thing, and
the only reason I say not Kaisa is because he is prone to diving in and feeding. Oh, yeah. Like he has an issue with going in too hard. Yeah,
we mentioned that last split.
Let's get off the wild and stay with the Turtle a little bit more.
Okay, so if that's the case, then I want to see this what did on a Lux or something, because I love the Caitlyn Lux combo. Yep. It is.
And Woodid's got a good Lux and Morgana.
Oh, yeah. Or Morgana. So anything that can bind and, kind of get locked down something. But I think the Caitlyn Lux combo is second to the Tahm Kench, Ezreal, and safety, and probably the top on damage.
It's really abusive.
It's so dirty. You hit the frickin'... Because both
if you get the light binding root, you drop the trap underneath, so you get a shot followed up by the headshot, the headshot from the trap. And then, you still get another auto or two before they walk away.
It's the same with Lux, because you hit the light binding, you throw out your slow, you hit the auto attack, pop the slow, hit the next auto attack, which are empowered, and you got your...
And between that, you should kill your opponent or be able to drop the ignite and kill them.
Or they're going to waste a flash or a heal to kind of, panic out of that at the last... It's the most ridiculous setup, and I really like seeing it in these last 2 weeks.
So I would love to see that. Those playing that, Pobelter, whatever he feels comfortable on. If it's... Orianna, Ari,
really?
Malzahar.
Okay,
he played Ari back in the day.
And Malzahar, that would be good too.
Yeah,
I would love to see Ari.
And then I think Amazing's fine on. He'd be fine with taking Sejuani, Trundle. I'm sorry, Santorin. Yeah, I think Sejuani, especially because she is so meta right now.
Yeah.
But I would be super happy to just see that comp, even though it's not a super coherent pro comp where it's it has obvious win conditions.
Weird little,
you're missing out on win conditions, and I get that. From a coaching perspective, the comp we just listed is garbage. It is hot garbage. You've got a great sieging bot lane. You've got Sejuani who's all engage. You've got Riven who wants to dive and split push, and then if you're doing Malzahar, that's a kiting defensive. It doesn't make sense as a comp. But for that team right now, I just want to see them be comfortable and see what happens. And if the comfort, if certain lanes do well on comfort, then go, okay, we're going to build around that. What can we twist? Okay, bot lane did really well with the siege comp. Top lane, okay, Viper, we're going to move you off of Riven into Jace, because Jace can help with the siege.
Okay.
Sejuani does fine with the siege because she can disengage and whatnot too. Okay, we're gonna, or you could leave it and do a split push with the siege, whatever. Pobelter to help with the siege. Maybe we're gonna put you on something with good wave clear and keep everybody pushed up with the control. Maybe a Talia. I mean Zoe.
I was gonna say Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe's great right now because the poke on her. Yeah. She can be really vulnerable from flanks.
And Jace, the poke on that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's frustrating.
Build into a comp that caters to what lane does the best, but without getting the other ones completely out of their comfort zone. And really that's something you should be doing in your scrims to figure out. But, unless you're losing all your scrims, what's happening in scrims is not resulting in wins on the stage.
Yeah.
And so,
I wish I had that knowledge of how their scrims are going, but I don't. So I have no idea if, they're winning in scrims or what they're running. I'm sure, like, a couple of them play together in stream, but that's a lot of league, guys. Already, like, I don't play anymore. I haven't for a while. And I kind of do want to play,
and you're so much
but
happier.
It's still this is a lot of league to take in on the weekends.
Quick diversion from LCS here. Teamfight Tactics is coming.
I don't know anything about it.
I know. you know vaguely what it is or not?
Chess?
Yeah, it's auto chess, which was a mod for or is a mod for Dota 2, but it really has nothing to do with chess at all.
Yeah, because I mean they all have their different abilities.
Think of it as active Hearthstone, kind of.
All right.
Because like you draft your team and you're like putting them out on the field, but then they actually fight each other.
Okay.
And like you put items on them and stuff.
Yeah.
So that
interesting.
So if yours isn't an IP ban.
What? Can you play?
Well,
the account's banned. Like,
yeah.
If I log in.
Well, I was gonna say you could get a new account and only play Teamfight Tactics if that makes you less ragey, and then you can get a little bit of a league fix.
I know, right? Heroin, it really is.
Yeah,
because I'll find myself being like I want to watch
Teamfight Tactics could be your methadone clinic.
Yeah. I'll look into it. Like I haven't thought about it. The only account I have left is actually one of the ones I played with Chase. When I played with him once, and then you and him went once, and the games with him went over a lot better than it did with the group. So, but I played on my 21-ish account or whatever, and I haven't logged into that. Like, I uninstalled League, and I was like, I'm not fucking logging into that account.
Self-help 101.
But it's only 9 levels
Don't
from
bring
30.
the liquor into the house.
Anyways, it does look kind of cool. I hope maybe, like, if you fucking play it, like, let me know how it is.
I'll
or
check
do,
it
like,
out when it launches. Yeah.
I thought it already launched.
No, it's on PvE right now. It comes with this patch that's coming.
That's
so
right.
actually, Tuesday or patch notes came out
know,
yesterday. I don't know. It wasn't on the client last night. I played a couple ARAMs.
Okay, all right.
But
is Flyquest playing that?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're just on Teamfight Tactics too much. Honestly, if anything, it's probably Cloud9 playing Teamfight Tactics because we know they're always fucking off playing other games, and yet they win.
Yeah.
Less recently. Let's talk about one that came up here in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Slippy still saying CLG Dark Horse. Like I said from the beginning of the split. Okay, first of all, you said beginning of the split. You said you picked them as your new team. I don't remember if you said Dark Horse. He might have when we were picking Dark Horses. That might have been when he said it. So we have them tied at second still with Cloud9 and TSM. They lost to both Cloud9 and TSM so far this split. Mm-hmm. However, they did beat TL.
Yeah.
They have beaten Fox. They beat Golden Guardians. They lost to Opt. So basically, here they beat TL. They beat Golden Guardians. Those are the two teams that we've all agreed are pretty decent. Yeah. They lost to TSM, Optic, and Cloud9.
Yeah.
The other teams that they should be fighting with in the middle of that pack.
Yeah.
They have Clutch, who has looked better as of recently to finish out their split. And 100 Thieves they started with back when Amazing had just gone off a fucking plane. Mm-hmm. So we're not even going to count that.
I don't think Amazing should have played that first freaking week, and maybe not even the second one. Actually, the second one probably would have been fine.
So
to get him introduced.
So anyway. CLG here though, next week, like I said, finish out the round robin with Clutch. They followed up with TSM, then they have TL again right away, Golden Guardians, Flyquest, so on and so forth. CLG, Jeff has them as their dark horse. Slippy here.
What does that mean? That he has them as his dark horse?
He thinks they're
come out of nowhere and win?
Yeah. I don't know about win, but they're going to do way better than expected.
Oh well.
I think Jeff, I gotta ask, your dark horse. What spot are you slotting them into? Where are they finishing the regular split and then the playoffs? Where are they finishing?
Where did I put them? You don't have that up there.
I don't have that up there. Did you write it down somewhere?
Not in this book. It's definitely in one of the older ones, though. I'll have to look.
Anyways. So, I mean, I think... Let's see. If I'm going to break it down, I got TL, Cloud9, and TSM still finishing top 3. That leaves 3 spots in the playoffs. I think Optic is going to be good enough to get one. If 100 Thieves pulls out a 1-1 against TSM and TL, I think they probably end up with one as well. He says 4th in split and 4th in playoffs if TSM gets it together. If they get it together. So you're saying 3rd if TSM doesn't get it together?
Once they got them coming up, we'll know by then. If CLG owns like the head-to-head for both freaking halves of this. I've
got TL, Cloud9. Oh, so even if we're saying, TSM falls apart, like they don't get together, and I don't think they have to get together to be better than CLG. I think they are even without it together.
Okay.
I think they're at least CLG level. I got TL, Cloud9 ahead of them. I think Optic's better than CLG. I think the games they lost, the 3 games they've lost, they have not been blown out.
Okay.
Cloud9 controlled the whole game against them. They were damn near winning against TL, and it was a back and forth against Echo Fox.
Okay.
I have a hard time saying that team's not top 4 right now.
Which one, CLG?
Optic.
Optic? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Golden Guardians, they didn't look great these past 3 games.
Yeah.
But they still have... So I'll say CLG's above Golden Guardians right now. But...
Which is funny, because we wouldn't have said that last week.
I didn't last week. Even after that one. But... Golden Guardians then went and lost to TL and TSM and only looked okay there. Yeah. I think they should have pulled out one of those wins if they want to show they're that good. Granted, they have to beat Optic or Optic and Fox, or at least Fox this next week. If they go 0-2 next week, that team's an issue.
If Optic wins over GG's, then Optic's definitely like a good team. Definitely, like they're up there. We're already like.
I mean, they went 1-1 without Crown.
Yeah.
Like and fair play to Scarlet. Scarlet played well.
Yeah.
His flank on the Vladimir against TSM decided that game.
Yeah. Didn't he do it twice?
He did do it twice.
Sucked, and then he had 2 that were good.
Yeah. He had 2 in a row that were fucking fantastic.
And they chased. The only thing I will say on that is C9 kind of fucking wrecked him in that top bush. Like, I think, Hunt... What were we talking about?
We were talking about Optic, but CLG was the actual point. Because,
yeah,
Cloud9 destroyed CLG, and there's layers to that, so we can talk about that.
No, I'm thinking it was C9 versus, was this just freaking, what was it? I think against 100 Thieves?
CLG's getting better and better each week. I don't think that's true. I don't think you can say CLG's getting better and better each week. Their best week was last week against Fox and Golden Guardians. Because this week they beat Flyquest, who cares, last in the league, and they got stomped by Cloud9.
Yeah.
Power of Evil, as somebody who hard played Orianna a year ago.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Worst Orianna build. Who builds tier and who even builds tier on Orianna? Not many people.
Was surprising.
If you're gonna do it, fine, okay. But then you're gonna build Zhonya's as well. You're gonna build 2 items that offer almost no damage.
Yeah.
And so until 40 minutes, when you get 3 items and boots, and probably not until you get 4 items, you're not going to do any damage. You're going, okay, guess I'm not playing until 30, 40 minutes.
Let me go farm, guys.
Like,
I'll be in the
for
jungle.
real. Like, okay, great. You can pop your Seraph's Embrace, and you can pop your Zhonya's, and you're not going to die right away. Guess what? Everyone else is still going to be alive because you didn't do shit.
Yeah. I agree with him, and he raged about this when
Ludens and Morellos or Voidstaff are required on Orianna.
I would have just thought Ludens because it's required for most mage mids, like AP mids. Like
if you're gonna do any sort of like burst damage,
MP item that gives you MP on whenever you revive into the other rod.
Yeah, and it's a great first time because you build Lost Chapter and you regain mana.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Getting your mana, it gives you some mana sustain in lane, and so it's great for that. But yeah, Ludens on her is fantastic, because what are you doing? You're harassing in lane with QW. All fucking day.
And you already have a shield as Orianna, so building a double shield on top of that for your first item, that's a little bit
right. And, and what was he laning into? Aurelia. So I get the Zhonya's. I get it, because you're into an AD. Cool. Build the Zhonya's, fuck the tier, have a coherent build. And, I mean, it's like, Power of Evil has been known for this, crap builds on Orianna, because he has insisted for so long to build, Nashor's Tooth. Which, it's an auto-attack AP item, right? Yeah. You build it on Kale, you build it on Teemo. Exactly. And I get it because of Orianna's passive, her auto attacks on the same target, stack and do more damage.
Okay.
Like,
Didn't even know that.
clockwork windup. So yeah, if you're ever running from an Orianna and she keeps autoing you, each one of those auto, she's doing more damage. Like for I think it stacks 3 times. I would have never even
thought of like that because I really don't look at these abilities as well as I should. I don't played her once.
Well, it doesn't make as much of a difference, honestly, but it's a little.
She's so AP that like I wouldn't have expected in a little auto attack passive. I guess.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But like her autos aren't super long range. Like she's ranged, great. But they're not that much damage. You know, he's doing this in like Freak. I love it. If you've ever watched the clips, the YouTube show he does, Freak Show on the LOL Esports channel. He does just straight up like stat breakdowns of stuff. And if you've ever watched his streams, like whenever a patch comes out, he like spreadsheets the fuck out of it. Cool. And he's like, so these changes mean at level 18 the difference is 10 damage. Who cares? Like it's not an important buff. No, it's 10. It's 20 damage at level 4. That's a big deal. Things like that. So anyway, like he did a stat breakdown of that Orianna build, and he's like, so if you are in combat for this long and get off this many autos, then yes, it's better. But if you're doing that as Orianna, you're probably too close to still be alive.
Yeah.
'Cause she's immobile. Like, she has a speed up, but she's immobile.
That might work in scrims or against, like, lower level people than you at your gameplay, but they're playing other people, even, like, that aren't in the pro play, that are their level.
Right.
Skill set. And it might work there, but no one against you on stage is, like... They're going to abuse that. They're going to be like, look, this person isn't damaged. We don't have to be afraid of the Orianna nearly as much as any other Orianna. Mm-hmm. So just go in. Yeah,
I mean, and honestly, like, so his Orianna was worthless. We saw Gangplank in the top lane get hot dumpstered by Licorice Akali. Licorice Akali is becoming a hell of a threat.
Yeah, but 100 Thieves handled the shit out of that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think there's lots of issues with Cloud9. We kind of touched that one already.
That's what I was thinking of, by the way. Scarlet was chasing in the top lane like their entire team was. C9 had lost that fight, and C9 go wait in the little bush. And then 100 Thieves like, well, we won, so we're going to back off. And 2 people stayed up there. C9 was like...
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like... I don't know. I don't think CLG... Back to that point that I was getting at, though. CLG. I don't think CLG's improving week to week. I think they're okay. Mm-hmm. I think they are better now. I think their last 2 weeks were better than their first 2 weeks. I will say that.
Yes.
But if you're going to tell me they were better in week 2 than they were in week 1, fine. If they were better in week 3 than week 2, fine. If they were better in week 4 than week 3, no.
Well, obviously.
It was the same. Like,
it was 1-1 versus 2-1.
You don't play that
well.
garbage against Cloud9 and pick up a win against Flyquest and go, look how much better we were. You go, wow, that was a shit week.
Yeah. Well,
like, we did what was expected of us at best.
That's what they're going into for week 5.
Yeah.
Versus CG and TSM.
Yeah,
so
if they lose to Clutch, they have fallen.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they're ahead of Clutch right now.
Basically, the entire point is, if they don't win to Clutch next week, they're pretty much not. They're not the dark horse. They're not a dark horse.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with what Alan said. I see them as 5-6. I think they're a 5-6, and for what CLG's been for the past several years.
Yeah, I see. I don't know
that counts as dark horse for them.
But they weren't that good last.
They haven't made playoffs consistently at all.
No,
I think they've made playoffs one split in like 3 years.
Working way better for them. They're doing a little bit better. So
Ruin's helping that team out.
A 5th, 6th spot. Yeah.
I'm glad they made enough changes that the team seems to have a way forward.
They still kept Wiggly,
but I'm not convinced yet.
I like Wiggly.
Yeah, when everyone Wiggly's the problem. Fuck, he is.
Wiggly's great.
All right.
Especially I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
90% is just the name.
Yeah.
Like that's his name.
He used to be on Cloud9 and I enjoyed it then.
Oh, really? Oh. But I like Sven.
Everyone good was involved with Cloud9 at some point. Sticking to it.
We'll see. It'll keep going. We got 5 more weeks.
So, what else we got to cover here? We've talked about Optic. We've talked about Golden Guardians a small bit.
They dropped
Cloud9, 100 Thieves,
That should be the rule. If a team drops 2 in, like, a weekend, shouldn't touch on them. Unless we really need to and it's been 2 weekends in a row, like Flyquest.
So, we can talk about 100T a bit more. I mean, we covered them before you got here, Alan, but we'll do a bit of a recap quick. I mean, when it comes down to it, they're looking so much better. Mm-hmm. We both agreed we think that it's mostly around Amazing. He's just meshing into the team. The team's meshing around him. They're finding a playstyle that works. And we also, we do credit the switch from Someday to Fake God, not because we think Someday's worse than Fake God, but because of that meshing, that style they're finding. Fake God works better into that than Someday does. Or vice versa, you could say the team isn't playing as well around Someday as they could be, but they're playing better around Fake God.
Can they have Someday in right now with the lineup they have, or are they running Fake God because of that import thing?
Import.
Okay, so they have to run Fake God.
If they're running Ryu, yes.
Yes. And I think Ryu
is
the better choice.
Yeah. They have
I guess as a combo,
I don't know that Ryu. Really, that's the thing too. I'm not convinced Ryu's a better choice
I
than
think Ryu
Sligo.
better than Fake God. So,
right. I'm just not convinced Ryu is so much better than Sligo. But I do think it's stylistically, I think having Fake God in is better than Someday. If stylistically that team could play more around top carry and helping Someday out, then I think like the ideal lineup would be, if you're just talking like power level of players. I would say Someday amazing, Sligo, and then Bang and Afro. Yeah. And then your two imports at that point are Someday and Bang. But that
wasn't working either. They tried it.
Right. No, they did, and it wasn't working out. Yeah. I agree, but it's working better right now.
If this is what is working for them, then hopefully we can continue to see it working to say that it's not just a fluke or,
Yeah, I mean, really, it's kind of what we said. Like, I think it's just a style thing, and we even talked about how it's making Afro Moon look better too because they have somebody who's engaging more competently and amazing. And he's playing around that now rather than trying to force his own engages, which is allowing him to get in and get out and be alive, and then help Bang. And now Bang has the confidence to know when he walks forward that his support who just engaged isn't going to immediately die. Yeah. He has the jungler there who started it. It's a better engage, and he can walk forward and do damage without dying himself.
Bang's definitely been doing a lot better.
That team's confidence in each other is a big part of what's going on, and we're going to find out way more, though, with the TSMTL games they have next week, or not next, in week 5 when that comes around. Because the wins over Fox and Flyquest don't really mean anything.
I will say,
and Cloud9, it still means something, even though, Blabber was in, Blabber was making some poor plays. Yeah. It still means something.
If Vince had been in, I'm not sure they would have won. It would have been a completely different game, though.
Yeah.
Against Flyquest, I want to, again, I come back to Fake God because I don't know whether or not he's an issue or he's doing well, because he got dumpstered on in the Flyquest game in the beginning, but he didn't lose morale, and I think that's, a huge thing for that team. No one counted that lane or him out.
Right.
Just because he was 0-2 at one point, in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, he stabilized well and just kept it going. So, so we've got Rift Rivals this coming week. We won't get to see the end of that round robin week 5.
Very sad.
For another week.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
At least with Rift Rivals, we get food. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, when we talk about Rift Rivals, we'll have food.
I'll obviously have food when I'm watching Rift Rivals.
Yeah. Rift Rivals is going to be interesting just because I definitely don't know about Origin. And we saw Fnatic beat G2 this past weekend in a crazy game. But part of the craziness there was Caps and Wonder hard feeding early on in that game.
Yeah.
It almost felt like Caps and Wonder were just 1, we don't respect you. 2, can we still win if we're 0-11, guys? Let's just give it a shot.
I mean, hey, they got some stuff done at times, but Fnatic ran them around.
Yeah, and after you get that lead, a good team should not fail. Now, you're playing against G2, is one of the best teams in the world right now, especially because their play style is so fucking whatever they want. But that also lulls you into a situation where you can disrespect your opponent too much with your picks.
Definitely done that.
And I think that played into it slightly. So when it comes down to it, Fnatic's a good team. Yeah. G2's a great team. Yeah. And what is Optic's record right now even? I've got
Origin.
Origin, thank you.
I don't know.
We're gonna LEC.
I know Fnatic's in G2 just because we were talking about it. That's it.
Origin right now is 9-3.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, no, they're 3-3. Excuse me, they have 9.
They
have 9 points.
Games?
Yeah,
Jeez.
no. They're 3-3 right now.
The other one's what, 7-1 and 6-2?
Yeah.
Or something. No.
No. 8-0.
8-0. And then 7-1.
Yeah. But
Origin.
3-3. Oof. Origin beaten by.
And they're only going to because they won.
And Origin beat Fnatic, right? Actually. It looks like. Oh no, that was Spring. There we go. Oh, come on. Can I see Summer Split? Show me their Summer Split. There we go. They have so far beaten Splice, lost to Schalke, beaten Misfits. Misfits is awful right now. Lost to Fnatic, lost to G2, beat Vitality. Like, I don't have confidence in Origin. I didn't have confidence in them after.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
After
want them to lose.
No. I know. I'm just because I'm trying to weigh these teams, but I also currently don't really. I don't know what to think of Cloud9 or TSM right now.
I was just thinking that.
Because TSM, while they seem to have locked down their roster, things just
don't
always work out for them.
I think if C9 gets to play a game against G2, it's gonna be a really good game. Unless G2 just dumpsters on him and, perfects the game or something. Just because I think C9 want their chance at G2, having given TL their chance, and TL failing spectacularly, if they can pull out a better game than TL did, it'll really show C9 off.
Yeah, it's just... Oh, man. I was just making sure I had the same chat here, because I had moved away from the window for a moment. G2, they're the best team that's going to be at Rift Rivals. That's all there is to it. I think TL's still the second best team that's going to be there, because I think they've kind of finally caught their breath from MSI, and G2's better.
Okay.
But they also had a week off between, whereas like TL didn't have that week off. Like they just went straight back and started playing kind of thing. Well, I mean they had time, but
they had like a week.
G2 had an extra week off, I should say, because they started a week after us.
That makes more sense. I was say they had a little bit of time.
So I think Fnatic's good, though. Fnatic's, if they're playing well... So if Fnatic, Origin, TSM, and Cloud9 are all playing well, I think Fnatic and Cloud9 are pretty equal.
Okay.
Fnatic might have the slight edge on them. Might.
Ooh,
and I say that's most... my gut on that is to say that's through Broxa to start with.
Ooh, I heard that name. Broxa.
But I don't think that's true with the way Svenskeren been playing recently.
Okay.
So I think it would be through the bot lane with Reckless versus Sneaky, because Sneaky has not been impressing this week. And I know there's the meme Sneaky in lane, but honestly this split, Sneaky has not been that good. Whereas he was winning lanes last split.
Missing arrows. You missed a lot of arrows, Sneaky.
And I think a lot of that is Cloud9 is trying more strategies that involve pressuring mid and top a lot. Like they're trying to play through Licorice and Niski, and I understand that. And Sneaky has generally been the master of being like underfunded and still showing up to team fights and doing great. Yeah. But I don't think he's pulling that out as well recently.
Okay.
So I would give the edge probably to if they're both playing top of their game. I'd say edge to Fnatic because of the bot lane.
I only know a couple of people on Fnatic.
But then if you go to Origin TSM, I give that TSM all day. If they're both playing well, TSM all day. They're just better than Origin is.
All right. Yeah, I don't know anything about Origin, but fair call. I hear Origin's not doing good.
But when it comes down to it, I mean, it's just like I said last week. G2 will win their games. TL will win the ones that aren't G2, basically. And it matters Fnatic, TSM, and Cloud9. How well do those teams show up?
It'll be fun to watch.
Like, because if they're all is sketchy. Granted, Fnatic's undefeated right now in LEC. Great. But I think, honestly, that has a lot more to do with the middle and especially the bottom of LEC. Not being great. Like, LEC's so top-heavy right now, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Again, 8-0 and 7-1. We don't have anything like that over here.
No. I mean, we've had it in the past.
Like, we had it last split.
Yeah. But, I mean, we've had it in the past, and, if you go back way far, go back to, Season 3 and 4, it was TSM and Cloud9 and everybody else can fuck off. I mean, we had other teams, make plays up into that shit, but really, it was those two teams, they were who mattered for, 3 splits in a row. And actually, if you want to go 4 splits, you say TSM and no Cloud9 before Cloud9 entered the league. Wow. Because it was just TSM and nobody else fucking mattered. Yeah. And then Cloud9 joined, it was Cloud9 and then TSM, and it stayed that and then it flopped.
Very early teams because apparently they don't matter.
Right. Jeff, I said they beat Chi2, but we discussed that game. If Echo Fox beats TL, which guess what? They did this split, but TL plays like garbage. It doesn't mean Echo Fox is amazing all of a sudden. Like, and I'm not
TL
saying G2 played like garbage. G2 just fed over a lot of gold early, had to fight the hell back, did fight the hell back, and still ended up losing. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, when you're given that kind of a lead, if you're a great team, you close it. Done. Yeah. I don't care who it's against, unless it's 2013-14 SKTT1. Because it's Faker, and he's gonna beat ya. Like, fuck.
So G2, that's what you're talking about? G2 Fnatic?
Yeah, well, yeah, that because he brought it back up there a little bit.
Upper edge. And then there was no time G2 really had the upper edge. They just kind of, it was like this.
Yeah, they were able to fight back because they're that much better than Fnatic, despite what they gave over. Yes. They disrespected them.
I don't know.
Maybe in picks, really but definitely in gameplay.
That G2 is much better than Fnatic?
Yes.
I don't know. I think you're going
I think if you
split.
make them play 10 games, G2 loses 2.
No.
2. And one of them is straight up disrespect. One is because Fnatic wins. One is the game that we saw happen.
We'll never see it.
One is the game we saw happen, where they just do whatever the fuck they feel like and then lose because they gave up a giant lead. And one of them is because Fnatic plays out of their minds.
When do they play each other again? Next, does anybody know?
It won't be for, well, let's see. They just completed their week 3, so the earliest it would be another 3 weeks from now. Well, 2.5 weeks.
What if Fnatic wins that one? What do you think then?
I want to see the game.
Okay.
Because if, once again, dude, if they're playing, like, Yuumi mid or, like, some shit, like...
Yuumi mid?
It's G2, they can play whatever they want. But, like, dude, if they play some, like, questionable draft...
Yeah.
And they, like, hard feed early because they're just doing whatever and seeing if they can pull it off, then once again, I'm just like, okay, when playoffs come in, it matters. They're going to 3-0 these bitches. They're going to 3-1 them at worst. Like,
if on the off chance Fnatic wins again, and then they go into playoffs and beat G2 again, then you have to give the respect to Fnatic.
Oh, Jeff saying I'm fanboying G2. I'm sorry, who just won MSI in dominant fashion? G2.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Who was really good?
Only the last
Hold on. Who was really good? No, they beat down SKT well too, and they looked good in the group stage.
Wasn't that like the 16 fucking minute one?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Ridiculous.
Like one of them was 60. Yeah. So like they looked good in all of the knockout there. They looked pretty good in the fucking group stage, but not as good. Yeah. They dropped to like Fengvu and whatever. Okay, and then you go back to Worlds. Where they had this roster, but not Caps. And they were runners-up, and they lost to IG, who won it all.
Yeah.
Not a bad loss to take. Oh, and then the team that lost to IG in the finals, they took their best player. Like, they're a fucking super team. I was saying at Worlds that I thought Wonder was the best top laner there. Yeah. You remember that? Or no, you weren't here yet.
But he said
you can fucking go back to the tape. I said at Worlds, Wonder is the best top laner going on because everybody was like, the shy. I'm like, Wonder's deep dicking people. How are we not talking about this? He was just straight winning like half of the map. Like the jungler would just be bot. He's like, I'm gonna 2v1 everybody. Fucking come at me. Yeah. I'm not fanboying them in the sense that I'm just like bullshitting how good they are. They're ridiculous. They are just ridiculous. They're the only team who makes Pyke top look good. And they make it look pretty fucking good.
Like, or at least, we only really have the LCS to go on, and it has not looked good in the LCS. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, yeah, Fnatic beat them in a head-to-head, but you know what? Echo Fox beat TL in the head-to-head. So did CLG. I'm not saying either of those teams are better than TL, and I wasn't saying it when they beat them those weeks. Yeah, okay. You know?
I mean, it's comparing apples to oranges. They're both fruits, but they're both very different.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, it's just...
Well, anyways, now I'm interested in just those two on the LEC, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, Rift Rivals is always fun, because no matter who wins, there's always salt. There's always me.
I don't know this. Like, I've never seen it in MSI.
Oh, I mean,
I've heard about it.
It's Europe versus North America. Like,
Rift Rivals.
It's a friendly rivalry, especially because... For so long, it was just like, okay, we're the two regions who definitely aren't going to do anything at Worlds. One of us can win this tournament.
One of us will win a tournament.
Right, but now there's a little more skin in the game. And so this is now that we actually do find on international.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, saying Team Liquid getting to the finals at MSI and do fine on
They
international.
pub stomped IG in the semi.
They did. But they did not put up a fight against G2.
And they sucked at Worlds.
It was like toddlers.
Cloud9 made it to semifinals at Worlds, playing well the whole way through.
Okay.
This was the first time we saw somebody other than Cloud9 do anything in international, so like it's still a little questionable if NA can claim anything. I'll agree with that. This is the third Rift Rivals. The first one took place in EU and NA won it. The second one took place in NA and EU won it.
Really?
Yes.
This is very interesting to know.
We're playing third one
cool
in NA because it was supposed to be in EU, but they have Worlds, so they're busy, so they asked us to do it again. So I think EU's probably got the better chance of winning this.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's probably like 60-40, though. I don't think it's that disparate. I just think it's because G2 is so much better.
All right. Well, very interesting.
Like,
I'm excited to watch Rift Rivals, even though it kind of means nothing. I'm just excited to watch League in general, I guess, so. Yeah.
Let's see. Quick things. Wonder what classes Bwipo? Oh, absolutely. Wait. Mechanics and Bwipo was a great pike type. No, Bwipo was good on it. No doubt. Bwipo's very good as well. Yenkos and Broxa are probably even. Yeah, I'd say that too. I'd probably give edge to Broxa. Caps is a Smurf and LC. Absolutely. Perks and Mickey X are better at adapting than Rickless and Hillisang. I agree with that as well. I think Perks is mechanically ridiculous. Reckless is a great AD carry, but Perks is just, he's crazy. And Mickey X has been outplaying Hillisang, I think, by a pretty decent margin. Mickey X is so good right now. So I disagree with Slippy on that. I like Hillisang on his pocket picks. I love him on his pocket picks.
I do not know this person at all.
But I think Mickey has a deeper pool, and he can play into more things. And he's more consistent, but I think that has to do with the pocket picks thing there. So yeah, I just kind of mostly on board with what you guys are saying about individual players there. I just G2 they're so good. They're obviously so good. Like it's not like anybody in the LPL is like, oh, IG lost, they're garbage now. Like no, they're still fucking really good. They have a lot of the best players in the league in all their roles. Like it's just what it is.
If IG had gone on, what do you think would have happened?
If IG would have beat TL, I think
that would have been.
I think G2 still wins it, but it would have been closer. I think it's funny because there's a little bit of disrespect into TL, but definitely the matchup of TL into IG just did not favor IG. I mean, like we talked about it at length then. Yeah. I think they took the worst matchup for themselves. Yeah. And honestly, you think, they should beat G2 then. I think G2, though, after beating SKT the way they did, and with what we saw them pulling out all of a sudden in the knockout round, they were in a rhythm that definitely would have been slowed by IG more than TL.
Oh, but it picked up pace on T. I see what you're saying on TL.
Yeah, they would have been slowed against TL. They against IG, but I think they still would have pulled it out just because the way they played was ridiculous. And the Shy seemed off his game. Yeah. Whereas Wonder was going fucking nuts. But yeah, so it's gonna be fun. We get to watch that next week. Any final thoughts?
From me? No, not really. We covered a lot this time too.
Yeah, we did. We went a little bit longer.
I missed Chase.
Aw.
I'm sorry.
All right.
We would have talked more about GGs if Chase had been here, to be honest.
No, I think you want to gloss over. They lost to TL and TSM.
Suck it. No, I'm sorry.
They looked okay. They didn't look great. They didn't look terrible.
Yeah. Oh, I
want to see their Optic Fox games and see how they bounce back, but it's not for 2 weeks. So everybody from NA regroup, re-steal yourself, and we're gonna see how the back half of the split goes after Rift Rivals. We will see you guys next Tuesday to talk about Rift Rivals.
Yes, please.
And until then, cheers.
Wait, hold on. I got water. Have a good night.